Welcome to the Gagoot Show. Tonight, our special guests are Brooke Arnold and Evan Weiss. We have my wife Nancy's exclusive interview with Victor Bettetto.
Happy birthday, Nancy.
Happy birthday, Nancy. It's my wife's exclusive birthday today. We're going to show another video of Nancy with Keith Fitz. So you're watching the Gagoot Show. I'm your host, Benny Rizzuti, and my co-host, Joan Jett's love child, Nicole LaMonaco.
Yes.
I had trouble getting that out.
Yeah, you're like, I don't. Yes, Joan Jett's love child. That's exactly what I look like today. Now, I was out in the city right before I got here today. I took off from work and I went into an open call at a little church in the city for, I guess it was an audition for an HBO series that Mick Jagger and Martin Scorsese are working on together. It takes place in the 70s with 70s punk rock and hip hop and, disco era, and, everybody comes together, and I guess he wants to make it an old New York series-based show. So that's why I look like this today.
That's exciting, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
An open casting call.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the line was around the block, though. We walked there, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I walked around. I'm like, okay. And then I walked around the corner, and it was all the way down the block, and then I had to turn another corner, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get in. But the line moved really fast, and they stamped my paper, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they give me a call back.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you said not everybody got their paper stamped.
No, not everyone, so I got a stamp. So,
great.
Gold star for me.
And what'd they have you do? Did they ask you questions?
I walked in. The girl looked at me. She went, you get a stamp. I went, okay. And then they gave me a pencil. I had to fill out some paperwork. And I waited online. They said people with stamps go here. Everybody else over there. Waited on that line. Took a picture. They said, do something edgy. I went, and that was it.
Open casting call. That's cool, though.
Every time you say open casting, I keep thinking you're saying open casket.
An open call. Anyway, an open call. All right. But because I learned about that from, I watched The Godfather with the commentary, and Francis Coppola did the open casting call, and that's how the person who played, not Clemenza, the other, Tessio, right, and he became Fish.
Yeah. That's
how he got his big break in movies.
Oh, really?
Was from an open call.
See, you never know.
So I call it an open call.
All right, an open call.
All right, great week. Nancy's birthday is today.
Yes,
happy birthday,
happy
Nancy.
Birthday.
Your birthday was Friday.
Yes, my birthday was Friday. I did my birthday show at the Villa Monaco, which we sold out. It was great. I had myself, Steve Perillo hosted, Mike Calcagno, Stevie GB headline, Vanessa Lintz, and Kathy Arnold were all on the show. Everybody did very good. And Rudy Fusco.
And Rudy too,
yes, yeah. Yes, everybody did a very good job, and we had a blast. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with my voice. I guess you could hear it. It's a little hoarse. And I was struggling to get my set out. I was telling my jokes, and I'm like, nothing was coming
really?
out. Yeah, but I got my laughs. I got it out, but I was in bed for the next 3 days because my voice is just shot.
That happens to you.
Always. If I lose my voice, so easy. It's the benefits.
Maybe you should
of having
drink more water.
I drink water. I drink tea. I was sucking down honey. I was like, I don't know what else to do.
Sucking on lemons.
My mother's calling me, gargle with the salt water. I'm like, it's salt water is the miracle for everything. It's the salt water. Gargle with salt water, you're going to be fine.
Well, because your mom's Italian, right?
Right. Did I listen? No.
Salt and Epsom salt is another thing. I always had Epsom salt. You don't gargle with that.
No.
If you have a splinter or something,
yeah,
soak your hand in Epsom salt.
It's salt,
It works.
Salt's good for you unless you eat it, As long as you're soaking in it or gargling it, it's fine. But don't eat it.
You should have done that, though.
Yeah, I know. Then she bought me cough drops and stuff, so it's back. It's not 100%, but it's back. So,
yeah, it's coming back.
For what it is.
That's good. We have a show. I want to talk about that. We have a show coming up 1 week from tomorrow. You and I are doing a show.
Yeah.
1 week from tomorrow at on the waterfront.
In Patchogue?
In
right?
Patchogue, on the waterfront in Patchogue, and it happens to be, coincidentally, on the waterfront.
It is?
It's right on the bay. It's a great place, a lot of fun.
And Paul Bond is headliner.
The headliner, Paul Bond. Nicole is going to feature. I'm going to be the host. So I'm going to be the MC. I'm going to host that show. Yay! It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited. It's going to be a good show.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Did one, what's today? Tuesday. Last night at La Focaccia with Rudy Fesco again, Pat Marone, Wes Deegan, John LaRocchia, Talia, oh my
Gill?
God. Yeah, Talia Gill, and George Rini.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Big show for Monday night.
There was 2 people in the audience, and they were the greatest 2 audience members there. And one of the guys had such a great laugh, which was nice for us because we were like, yeah, we're killing right now.
Yeah.
You know, so it was fun. We had a good time, though.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yep. How's your radio show going?
My radio show's a lot of fun. It's I did really good. I'm still learning. They updated its state-of-the-art radio station here.
Right.
And now we're at the point I'm doing my own. I'm putting together my own library. I'm taking my songs, making MP3s. But now they're hooking up a computer where I can get a song. You mention a song to me, and I can look it up on this computer. And it doesn't just... Real fancy, not just the song, because Tom Mealy showed me, he says, give me a song. So I said, All the Young Dudes. You know that song? All right, I'm not going to sing it because Nancy says every song I sing sounds the same.
All right.
So, but I'm going to try. All the young dudes carry the news. It was written by David Bowie and Mott the Hoople recorded it. That song, when we looked up All the Young Dudes, it had every version. It had the studio version, the live version, David Bowie, other bands.
Which one did you choose?
I didn't. He was just showing off. I didn't, because I have my library still. I don't know how to use that yet.
Right.
I hope to, but this
You will eventually.
I will eventually. And I had a lot of fun. I played a song for you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for your birthday.
What song did you play?
Counting Crows. Have you seen me lately?
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Counting
Crows? I do know
Crows?
that song. I'm not going to sing it because my voice is
Yeah,
terrible.
right. But I just thought that I thought you would like that song.
Thank you.
Because
That's sweet.
the lyrics of that song
Reminded you of me.
reminded me of you.
Aw.
But I like the song too. But like the opening lyric is "Get away from me." So get away from me.
That's pretty much exactly how I am.
And it's a
Hi,
rock-
go away.
It's a rocking song. It's a fun rocking song. So I played that for you.
Cool.
I played a lot of stuff because it was today's Nancy's birthday. Yesterday was our anniversary.
Yes. And how did you celebrate?
We went out. We went out to a restaurant. I took Nancy to a restaurant. We did a movie. We went to a movie. Found a great theater in Stony Brook that has reclining seats.
I saw that on your
Oh,
Facebook. They
boy,
look so
with-
comfortable. I need to go there.
It's like being in your living room, and it's not expensive. If you live on Long Island, you go there. It's Ronkonkoma, not Stony. It's the Ronkonkoma Theater, and it was great, beautiful, and there's plenty of leg room. So
that sounds nice.
And I had my legs out. It's great,
Push back.
push back and out.
How you doing?
And hanging was so we did that, but there's still the big present I have to get Nancy all the time is she loves Broadway shows.
Okay.
So we have to go to one of these Broadway shows that.
Did you buy tickets already?
I'm going to. I'm gonna get
Are you going to
tickets.
surprise her with one, or are you going to...
Yeah, she's dropping hints. So.
Which one does she want to see?
There's a bunch of those that are only for a few weeks.
Right.
She would like to see The King and I.
Okay.
I think I would take her to that. She wants to see Cinderella, but Ryan and I don't want to. I don't want to see Cinderella.
I don't blame you.
She wants to see that. I took her to see Wicked.
That was great.
And Wicked
if you've
was
never
great.
seen Wicked, go see it. It was fantastic. My aunt took me to see it.
It was great, and we saw it with that woman who's becoming really popular now. She sang Frozen, the song Frozen. You can't, John Travolta.
John Travolta screwed up Alina Medina, Bazilo, Bananarama,
Bananarama.
whatever her name is.
What a singer. I just
She's
have
got
to
a
say
beautiful
that.
voice. Yeah.
What
There's no
a singer.
denying that she's got a beautiful voice. Can I tell you her name? Something Menzel.
Yeah, Menzel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
oh my, she belted out one of the songs in Wicked that was unbelievable. It gave you chills.
Yeah, you got that
She was
goosebumps.
really,
That's
goosebumps.
cool.
It was good. So, our two guests today, we have a city comic.
Yes.
Brooke Arnold has a lot of projects. As a matter of fact, she has a show tonight at 10 o'clock in the city.
Oh, good for her.
And she'll talk about that. She's doing a lot. And Evan Weiss, who works all over the island, in the city, and Pennsylvania. He's
Yep.
big over there. So we have them. And we have Victor Botetto, just came out in a movie.
Paul Blart 2. Mall Cop. Paul Blart 2.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2. Mall Cop.
There you go.
Yeah. So Nancy had interviewed him at Christmas time.
Yeah.
So, and they spoke about this movie. So we're going to go to Nancy interviews Victor Botetto, and then we'll be right back. You're watching The Gagoot Show on Madhouse TV.
Hi, this is Nancy for the Gagoot Show, and we are here at McGuire's in Bohemia, which is a franchise of governors, and I am here with the Vic DiPotetto. Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, Nancy. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Good to see
Thank you. Same here, sweetie. So tell me what's going on now.
What isn't going on? I got a movie coming out with Kevin James, Mall Cop 2. That comes out April 17th. I'm on a show called Don't Know Jack on Hulu. That'll be out also this spring. Selling out clubs. I got a great manager, a beautiful wife, 2 wonderful children. What more could I ask for?
Isn't that great? And he's doing it all. He's doing it all. And you have a new website?
It's vic-comedy.com. You can also go to my fan page. And that's it. Just, things are happening. Thank you for the support. The vignettes, the videos are becoming, I got a big following. Bread and Milk took it over the top. It's up to 12 million views. And all my videos put together is up to just under 26 million views.
Wow. Whoa. Now, I remember when, baby.
Yes.
When we were school bus drivers,
That's
everything
right,
else.
and I'm not doing that anymore.
No,
I don't know if you heard, I'm not shining shoes anymore.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for giving
Me
me
too.
I know you got to go and you got to get on stage. I appreciate
Thank
you so
you,
much.
Nancy.
Have a wonderful
Sweetheart,
holiday.
wonderful woman right here. Thank you.
Listen, we got your little gift. Okay? This is for you.
Thank you. Should I open it now?
Sure, go ahead.
I'll open it like the little kids on Christmas morning. Oh, how'd you know?
I would have never figured it out.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great show.
Very nice.
sweetheart.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
We're watching the Gagoot Show on Madhouse TV.
And do that little... Yeah, I love that. I love
I'll do it one time. We're watching the Gagoot.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
So this little old lady, she comes over to me and she goes, you're never going to be successful unless you follow Jesus. I said, I would follow Jesus, but I can't walk on water. Am I successful? You mean mounted to a cross? Because he nailed it. Why aren't any of you laughing?
Because we're watching NetHowTV.com.
And we're back on the Gagoot Show.
Who's the cutest little French girl in New York City, huh? Mon ami, mon ami. Who's the cutest girl?
Benny's anniversary, I guess, didn't go well. We have our first guest, Brooke Arnold. Yay!
Brooke.
Hey!
Welcome to the Gagoot Show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. She's so pretty, right?
She's very pretty.
Oh,
Love
thank
those
you.
You like Goldilocks.
I'm Goldilocks. Rays of sunshine. Yeah, sometimes my boyfriend comes up behind me and he's like,
Touches your hair.
yeah.
It's nice, pretty.
Yeah.
And she's very funny. She's as funny as she is lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Very-
I appreciate that. I think I'm actually funnier than I am lovely. Or at least that's the goal. I have low self-esteem, so I at least want to believe I'm funnier than I am good looking.
You're very funny. From when I met you in the green room over there for the 5 minutes that we spoke, you made me laugh. With
Oh,
the creepy
thank
guys
you.
on the train and all the nonsense that goes on. So we were talking, and you live in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And you said originally you were from Texas.
I am from Tejas.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know anything about Texas other than my whole family is Dallas Cowboys fans, and I'm
Yeah.
a Giants fan, so it's a no-no.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Keep the knowledge to zero. Keep it as minimal as possible. That's
Okay.
always a good thing.
So, when and why what made you leave Texas to come to New York City?
I actually moved to New York to go to graduate school, which is kind of the opposite of doing comedy. And then somewhere along the way, I got very bored with graduate school and
Being
decided,
an adult, pretty
being
much.
an adult, right? You know, I was like reading and writing. Who needs that? And so I started doing comedy, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So
How long have you been doing it?
about a year and a half.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like it's very exciting when you're out there. And how many open mics do you try and hit like a week?
It kind of depends on like what I try to get up 3 times a night, like 3 times every day.
Right.
So like if I'm on 2 shows, I'll do 1 mic. If I'm on 1 show, I'll do 2. So it just kind of depends on like where
That's great.
I'm booked. So.
That's so much easier when you're in the city. You could do that. It's like accessible to you. I gotta
Yeah.
get out there.
It sounds easy, but like when you're the one when you're like running from place to place and trying to get on, and then like jumping on the subway, it gets so exhausting. Like every time I get home and I just kind of like face plant
Slop, yeah.
on the floor.
I get that.
Yeah, I sleep on the couch more than like in bed just because I fall asleep. Like as soon as
closer.
I get home, yeah, I'm just like it's closer, like crawling to it.
I get
So
it.
3 times a night.
Yeah.
You perform from Monday through Thursday or Monday through.
No, like 7 days. 7
7
days a
days.
week. I take Saturday, I took the night off from performing. It was the first night I'd had off since like mid-February. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like...
Did you do something good that Saturday, or did you just relax?
I just like stared at the wall. Like that's all I could manage, you know?
You need a break sometimes.
Because every time like I take time off, I think it'll be so nice. And then I sit down at home and I'm like, I could be on stage. I could be on stage. I could be on stage. Like I'm addicted to it. Like that's just like I'm like a junkie. Like that's the only metaphor that I can even think. Like yeah, I need my fix. Like I miss it. I crave it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You need that. To do
Yeah.
this. Otherwise, it could be a lot of heartache. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you got a soft skin,
Yeah.
But you keep plugging away at it every day. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have any shows though where the audience is so unruly that you would say I'm not going up? Has that
Like
ever happened?
refuse to go up? I definitely refuse to go up. I've been scared many times, But I have this like new trick I've been practicing where I'll kind of go into the room and I'll kind of gauge what it is that they're laughing a lot at, right? So like some audiences might be laughing a lot at sex jokes. I don't do a lot of sex jokes, but I'll do them if I notice they're getting a really good response. Or sometimes audiences are they think cursing is funny. And so if someone gets on stage and is cursing a lot, they'll laugh a lot more. And so I don't curse a lot in my set, but if I notice that that's going well, I'll do it. So I do definitely like...
You aim to please.
Yeah, I try to be very like... aware of what that particular audience dynamic might be. Sometimes they like act outs, and so I start my set off with something that I've seen working, and then I can kind of feel like I can do my own material, just kind of go into my own material after I see that, what the dynamic is.
What made you want to go into stand-up comedy? Like, I know you left school and you wanted to change it, but like, where were you like, stand-up, I'm going to do that?
I had a really weird, I've had a very strange life, a very unusual life, and so I started just for fun writing funny essays about my childhood and my life, I was homeschooled, which is pretty different than what most people experience, so I started writing kind of funny essays about it, and I just enjoyed writing funny things, and I would read them to friends and they would laugh, and I just got kind of addicted to the idea of making people laugh. Like I've always loved to make people laugh in conversation, when I'm teaching in any kind of situation. So like getting to make people laugh full time, like what could be better? What could be better than that? Like I'm like, why didn't I think of this sooner?
I agree.
So you're a teacher also? You teach?
I'm a professor at Queens College.
Wow.
So yeah. So at least once per semester, one of my students comes up to me and he's like, so you do stand-up comedy? It's always a guy because they're the ones that Google you when they go home. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I do. And sometimes they'll even ask me, like a group of my students banded together recently and like we're like, do a set. But I don't know, it just seems so weird to like try to do stand-up in like the middle of a classroom in front of like people you're going to be grading. I'm like, you better laugh or I'm giving you an F, that kind of thing. It was just awkward, so.
Don't you find it awkward? It's like not just in a classroom setting, but like anywhere. Like somebody finds out you do stand-up, they're like, do something, do your bit, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like we're at Target right now. Like I don't really want to run into you. I heard you're doing stand-up. Do something. I'm like, I'm just trying to buy cat litter right now. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, they want you to do a joke.
Yeah, people don't. I think a lot of times, like people who lay people or civilians, whatever you want to call them, they don't realize like how much an art it is. Like how much it's all about creating, writing a set, and structuring it, and then practicing it, and then working out the timing, and then interacting. They think it's just the words, and it's just like off the cuff, and sometimes it is, but it's like it doesn't translate. It's like it doesn't translate to like a conversation any more than like doing one of Hamlet's soliloquies. Like would just people would be like, oh, I'm so moved, you know.
Now you have a lot of projects underway.
I have so many projects under the way. I recently started performing at Stand Up New York, so I want to plug. That's an awesome club, and I want to give them a good plug because they've been giving me a lot of stage time, and it's just a great room. Like if you're watching and you haven't gone, you should go to the club any night of the week. They always have great shows. And a really positive atmosphere. You know, it's a classy place. It's a classy place.
That's nice. Stand Up New York.
Yeah. They serve tea and crumpets during the comedy show. The comics come out on stage. They're like,
if you do well, you get knighted.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
You are Sir Brooke.
So how could like Nicole or I get a spot in that club?
I don't know. What a great question.
Show up.
Show up. Show
Just
up.
show
Show
up
up and go up. Yeah. Show up and go up. I don't know. I think, you know, one thing that I think a lot of comics don't realize is like just hanging out at the club, you know, people get to know you and hanging out at shows. Like that's to me like one of the biggest ways of like networking and meeting people. Like if they don't know who you are, then they can't ever have you on, you know? So, but I've also got some like online stuff going. Like I'm working on a web series on YouTube, which is cool. And I'm putting together a college tour for the fall. So
nice.
A lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, your material, I have never heard your set yet.
Okay.
But your material, is it based from like most of it now that you're from, you know, Texas, or that now living in New York, or what your set is now, do you think would work when you go back home?
Oh, that's interesting, doing stand-up in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe there's aspects of it that might work better. Like people there might be a little less weirded out than New Yorkers are, you know. Yeah. But I definitely, like, you know, talk about being from Texas and talk about, you know, I kind of poke fun at, like, a lot of, like, New York perceptions of Texans, you know, like it's the land of George W. Bush and Jessica Simpson and lethal injections, you know. I kind of play with the people's like perceptions of Texas, especially like at a club too where you have a lot of Europeans who are really like, oh, Texas, that's terrible. You know, so
I saw you perform.
Yeah, you did.
I saw you perform a set. And
where was that?
That was at a theater in Lindenhurst.
Yes.
Which it's a theater that I forget the name of the theater offhand.
South Shore Theater
South Shore
Experience.
Theater. And I'm going to be on their next show next month
Exciting.
in May. And Alan Scott runs it, and it's monthly. He runs it monthly, and he's going to be on our show the week before, so we'll talk to him because he wants to meet you too, to book you.
That was that was an interesting
nice
show.
Theater.
It's a nice theater, great crowd. But speaking of getting really like almost not going on, I got so freaked out that night because Alan came backstage and he was like, just so you know, the entire front row is like 16-year-old girls. And I was just like the first comic, and I thought, oh my God, I've never performed comedy in front of like children before.
A Sweet 16
party.
It
was it a Sweet 16 party? Yeah, and so I went out and I got on stage, and like the way the room was lit, you could only see the front row. And so it was like I could only see these like sweet, beautiful, innocent little faces. And I'm all like, yeah, hey, kids.
But you did good because you did a few jokes to break the ice, and then you did one that was a little like risque, and you said it's only going to get worse from here.
I warned them, but yeah, it was.
They were a great audience.
It was an amazing audience, and it's an amazing show. And if anybody's watching, they should definitely go check out Alan's show at South Shore because it's really cool.
Yes, and I'm going to speak about it more. I'm going to show the flyer when Alan he has the flyer together, and I'm going to promote that.
Cool.
It's a beautiful theater,
It's a beautiful theater.
and it's different because it doesn't. It's not a theater with a stage. The seats are actually like bleacher seats,
Oh.
so the seats are up, and
That's
you're
cool.
down below.
That changes the whole dynamic. Thinking of like kind of, one of the things I really have been trying to work on or getting better at is like being in the moment, and that changes the entire power dynamic between the audience and the stand-up when the audience is elevated above them. So like even just like your performance has to change just from the seating arrangement difference, know. And also too, like in a place like that where like you can only see the front row, even if it's not just like sweet little children, you're like, if you can't see people, you have to still kind of try to pretend like you can so they feel like you're connecting with them. And that's like honestly like really what I love about stand-up, in addition to making people laugh, is that I feel like every time I do it, it's like a whole new challenge. And I love that. I love feeling constantly challenged, that every show I'm on is completely different than the last one I was on.
Right.
And it's never going to be the same thing 2 times in a row, ever. Even if you're doing the same material, you have to kind of play with it. And I just love that challenge.
Do you
so much.
record yourself?
I do, every single set.
Every set?
Single set. I have more recordings of myself like performing stand-up on my computer than like anything else. It's just like...
But audio, right? Audio, not...
I do audio and video.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I do mostly audio. It just kind of depends on what I need. If I'm working on something, I'll usually videotape it. That way I can kind of, get a fuller picture of what needs to be worked on. If it's just a regular show, I'll usually audio record it. And it could be good for me too, because I'm a perfectionist, so if I feel like it didn't go as well as I wanted it to, a lot of times I'll listen back to the tape and think, no, I did pretty good. I don't know why I'm being so hard on myself.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be good for like reminding you that, not to be so hard on yourself, that you're doing okay.
That's good, because I have that feeling myself. I record myself, and there were times I thought, oh, it didn't go over that well.
Yeah.
And then you hear the recording, it's good. But I think it's also good for a lot of the comics who think they killed all the time.
Yeah.
There are a lot of that, oh, I killed it. And if you play the tape enough, you didn't kill.
I think there's just always going to be those dudes that my friend Lindsay and I joke about this all the time, because we feel like it's mostly male comics who like go out and do terrible, and then I'm like, I killed, and then she and I will go out and do great, and we're like, we're the worst people ever, and we'll just cry about it. So we have like a whole joke, inside joke thing about those guys that you see just doing terrible, and they get off stage and they're like, I smashed! I'm a machine! I'm amazing! And I'm like, were we in the same reality? Because
But they don't
I didn't
record.
see that.
They don't record themselves. And
maybe not.
No, a lot of them. I knew a few
Yeah.
comics like that.
Maybe they just don't want to.
They what?
Maybe they don't want to.
But they think their material's great. If you tell them you should cut a joke down, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They don't.
Right.
And they're like, no, I killed. And I remember I had an argument with somebody that I did the radio show with, and he was like, I killed. I said, do you record yourself? And he said, no. I said, then you have no idea.
Right.
You really have no idea, because there was a time I thought I killed.
Yeah.
And then I played it for my friend, and he told me, you bombed. And that's how I learned. That's how you learn, He says, yeah, you didn't really kill.
I've gotten more patient with those people, though. I used to be really judgy about it. I've gotten more patient because I realized, like, it's so hard. Like, it's the most vulnerable thing you can do is to set yourself up completely alone as yourself on a stage and put yourself at the mercy of total strangers, It's so vulnerable. And so I think a lot of people, they kind of overcompensate, like, so I always notice, like, new comics, they kind of get this, like, this, like, fake bravada on
Right.
stage. And they don't, and I think it's just like they're trying to protect themselves because they are scared of like potential rejection, because you don't, like, if you're in a play, you don't find out you sucked until the next day when the reviews come out. Like, if you're doing stand-up comedy, 5 seconds in that it's sucking,
Right.
and you have to still keep doing it. You're like, ah.
I think writing comedy is the best writing, though.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you write a novel, you think, oh, it's so great, and people are bored, or your family's going to tell you. But if you write jokes, if they're not laughing, that's the best writing. It's the best editing.
Wow.
If you're smart about what you're doing, you say, okay, it kind of worked. I'll work on it. You know, you polish it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So anyway, Brooke Arnold, I highly recommend that you see her. She's all over the city when she comes to Long Island. And we're going to come back, and we're going to come back with our other guest, Evan Weiss, and then Brooke will be back.
All right.
At the end of the show. You're watching The Gagoot Show.
On MadhouseTV.com. That wasn't the button I wanted to hit.
Good show on Madhouse TV.
And do that little... Yeah, I love that. I love it.
I'll do it one time.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
And we're back on the Gagoot Show with our second guest, Evan Weiss. Thank you for coming.
Evan, welcome. How many years, Evan? How many years do I know you?
Years? I've known you for many years. Geez, the 90s we go back to.
The 90s.
Remember the
The
90s?
90s.
When were you born? Yeah.
87.
My son and...
I was alive in the 90s.
Yeah, her and Ryan are like a few years apart.
Yeah.
So you
I just
remember...
want to say happy birthday to you.
To Oh,
you.
to Nicole. To Nicole.
That's me.
Oh, it was your birthday?
And it's Nancy's birthday.
Oh,
Look into your
Nancy's.
camera. You know,
Nancy, happy birthday.
You have a camera
But it was
over
your
there.
anniversary.
Yesterday,
Happy
right.
birthday, Nancy. I
And
thought it
happy
was yours.
anniversary.
Yeah.
It was my birthday.
It was your
His
birthday.
anniversary with Nancy. Nancy's birthday today. All around holidays for us. I don't know.
And you tried out for the remake of The Warriors. That's why you dressed.
Wow, yeah, Warriors.
Come
on,
play.
Now that movie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I know something.
Us old timers. Oh, you
I
know that
know.
old movie?
I know. There's always so many references being passed back and forth around here. I'm like,
But I'm
can
glad
you
you-
just bring your son Ryan back on so we could talk?
Ryan will be back soon. He's very busy doing film stuff. Ryan's a film major.
awesome.
He's a
Yeah.
filmmaker.
So-
but yeah,
Let's talk about Evan.
let's talk about Evan.
So, I was reading in your bio that you were on the Reverend Bob Levy's show.
Yeah.
How did you get on that? How did that go down?
Well, it's actually a funny story. The first time I was supposed to be on his podcast, I drove 3.5 hours away. He lives outside of Philly. I drove 3.5 hours away. Get to his house. It said Levy on the mailbox. Go up to his door. His Weiss answers. He goes, "Oh, he left to do a radio show Monday. He's not here."
Oh my God! You drove all the way there.
Yeah, he's outside of Philly, like 10 minutes outside of Philly. And I'm like, oh.
Did you get in your car and just drive right back home?
Well, I was about to, but then his wife threw me some money, and then I drove back home.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
But then I was on, my friend Stacy was on the show together. They were on the show, Pressman, she was the co-host. And then I got on, like a few years later. So that's how I got on.
Cool.
So
What did you? How was that experience?
it was fun. It was fun. It's just a trip.
Yeah.
Now, who is Reverend Bob Levy for the viewers who don't?
He's one of the funniest guys in comedy. He's like the godfather of comedy. You know, anybody that like makes it in comedy like gets a hold of him, and then they end up surpassing him. He actually, Pete Davis used to open for him, and then Pete got on Saturday Night Live this past year, and you know he helped the careers of many people like Don Jameson, Jim Florentine, you know, so many people.
Wow.
Jim Norton, he was good friends with everybody. He's been doing comedy like 30 years.
And he's also
Maybe, I don't know.
a regular on Opie and Anthony.
He, Colin, regular.
Oh, okay. Because I looked it up. I got the information from his website because Nicole's giving me a look like, that's what you told me. Isn't it?
Yeah, he's a regular
But,
call-in because there was a situation where he was, he used to have his own show on Sirius, and they had a falling out with Stern, and then Stern didn't allow him, and then Sirius didn't allow him back into the building, and so he's still kind of not allowed back into the building.
Right. But I was on his website yesterday.
Yeah, but he's been,
And
he's
that
a
was
regular call-in.
on his bio.
Yeah.
I took the information because when you said
you're
Bob,
absolutely right. He's a calling guy, but it's technically yes, and
all right, but that's his bio. If you go
Yeah,
onto his
yeah.
website,
Right.
that's his bio.
That's fun. It's fun when you eventually get on a show 3 or 4 years later.
What do you talk about?
Well, we're talking about all the shows I produce. You know, I produce so many shows at Greenwich and Broadway, and
I just did one with you.
yeah, you hosted, did a great job.
Thank you.
And you know, I produced out here, and then I try to get newer comics to help fill it up. You know, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years.
Now, how do you feel? Well, go
No,
ahead.
no.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about the difference between Long Island audiences and city audiences?
Well,
when you do the shows?
it's usually if I'm doing it from in the city, it is Long Island because the people are coming from Long Island.
Right.
You know, I've done city shows. I think my act is generally universal, and they understand it. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, I don't think there's much difference
Yeah.
of you know, my set, you know, and city audiences. You know.
So what was your question that you were going to ask him?
I'm 59 years
You
old.
forgot
I don't
already.
remember. No, you're still producing shows.
Yeah, I got one coming up this Saturday at Greenwich Village, 6 p.m. And I have two at Greenwich Village, 6 p.m. on May 9th and May 30th.
Nice.
So, I try to find the best people and some new comics to fill it up, and I mix it up between some of the pros who's been doing it for years and some of the newer comics to really have a full. And I get a video guy so I can see how I'm doing and critique myself when I'm bombing or not bombing. And then they can, if they want a video, they can watch themselves.
Right.
Let me say this about you. I know you a long time. I find that you are your funniest when you improv, when you just go for being not staying away from your material.
Well, I try to do my best and have fun. Sometimes insult humor is kind of, I like to have fun with that. And sometimes you walk the line when you're doing open mics. Like I called this guy Jack-o'-lantern teeth face because he's missing teeth. You guys are laughing, but then he chased after me around the bar with a knife.
We spoke about that. We didn't mention the place, but
but sometimes that's the first time that happened in my life.
You almost got stabbed.
I almost got stabbed, so I called my comic friend of mine. I'm like, I'm really killing it. I must be getting really good.
All right, Evan, we're going to break for a commercial, and then we'll be right back with you and Brooke Arnold, and we'll talk more comedy.
All right.
You're watching The Gagoot Show on Madhouse TV.
All right.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Old Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power. Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power.
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Now? And we're back with The Gagoot Show and with both of our guests, Evan Weiss and Brooke Arnold.
Yay.
We're running, the show is running, we're just running.
Let's not waste any time.
Like a boulder. We're just a boulder. So, Evan,
you were about to tell us the story. And then we
I was shopping at one of my fancy places I go to hang out, ShopRite. And I'm just like, I'm in my sweatpants, like gym shirt, and someone yells out, "Comedian!"
Just that word, just comedian.
It's, hey, comedy. And I look around, and like the guy points at me. It's like one of the workers, the butcher. And I'm like, I didn't know if he was heckling me. Or I just took it as, I felt good. All right, I'm a comedian. And I just went to looking like a homeless person, filling the car.
Did you at least buy some meat from him?
Yeah, I bought grilled chicken.
Oh, I would have got a quarter pound of bologna.
I would have gotten honey ham. But Evan, these shows you produce, do you make a little money on them?
Yeah, not much. Some shows, not much at all. A little bit here and there. Yeah.
Does it cover gas for you?
Maybe a little bit here and there. Is the IRS watching? I don't know. Can you shut the cameras? Shut the cameras.
Tax time is
nothing
over.
at all. I give it all to charity. That's the thing. You know, whatever I make, it's all expensed out to all the other comics, so I end up losing. Right?
No, don't blink. They're going to think you actually make money.
No, I make nothing at
you
all.
make nothing. Nobody's making a lot of money in comedy.
Nobody's making.
So, nobody makes money in comedy. We got that. But we all know what that feels like. It feels like nothing.
I make nothing.
Evan, you've been doing this how long now?
You want to make me want to kill myself? No.
Is
that what the question is?
Do you want me to douse you in gasoline and light you on fire?
I hope so.
Well, that's a polyester shirt.
Walmart. Well, my first time was 95.
Okay.
And I was pretty much, then a year later, this is what I did before people had GPSs. This is what I did. Every Friday they used to have all the ads when there was a ton of clubs on Long Island. There was 8, 9 ads every Friday. So one day I'm going to be in there. And I literally went in my car and drove to a few different clubs in Nassau. I said, how do I get on stage? When's the open mic night? I didn't even know directions. I just had to ask some people. That was
at the gas station.
Yeah, I just drove west to Nassau.
That's how you know Evan's a good guy. He stopped and asked for directions.
And I just kept asking until I got closer and closer. Then there's, come back this night. And then I went to the next club and I got, come back this night. And then that's where I started doing shows, from 96 to 02. And then I stopped for a few years and started again in 07.
That's great.
And you do you took the class also?
I took, as like a lot of people, when you get a joke that works, and you get a bunch of jokes that work, you want to go up and you want to kill every time. But sometimes you get stuck in that thing where you're just doing the same thing. You want to be creative. You want to get out of that, just doing those. So I took the class to help myself write newer stuff and new stuff. So each time I took it 2 or 3 times to write new stuff. So the way the class, I took Rich Walker's and Peter Bale's. The way the class was set up, we come up with an idea, a punchline, and within the class you brainstorm other directions. And I if it wasn't the direction or the punchline where I didn't go for it. It was I like going in my sensibilities, and I would come up with the premise, or even the punchline, really tweak it a little bit, and be even stronger.
And how about you, Brooke? Have you taken any comedy classes, or?
I have not. I've been that kind of anti-comedy class, because I feel like I don't want other people to tell me what is funny, and I don't want other people to write my jokes for me, and so I wanted to develop organically. And so even since I started doing a lot of performance, I've even kind of dialed back on watching a lot of stand-up comedy on television, because it's so easy to let things seep through, and you're doing a joke that's structured like somebody's, or you're doing a performance that's structured like somebody's, and I just wanted it to be very as much of a pure expression as who I am as possible.
It's funny you say that, because I said the same thing too. So many people are like, oh, which comedians do you watch? And and I'm like, honestly, I really don't. I don't watch much TV. I don't watch really what's going on. And I was going through a little bit of a writer's block, or whatever you want to call it. I just my creativity level was very low, and I just didn't know what to do. I actually read a book. It's called Mega Weird by Nicholas McGallis. I don't know if you know him. He's a Viner, and he makes all these videos and stuff. And it was just his random life stories that he wrote about. And reading it, he's not a comedian. He just is a weird guy. And reading his stuff kind of just gave me my light bulb back on again, which was cool to get it from. And I'm not a reader. I don't read anything ever. And I read a whole book in 3 days. I was so proud of myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and I loved it. And it was just so weird and crazy, and just off the beaten path of regular thinking, that it struck up my creativity again.
You got inspired.
Yeah, it totally inspired me. So kudos to you, Nicholas McGallis, for being awesome always. But, reading is, I never realized how inspiring reading can be. Is I guess my point. That you don't have to watch TV all the time.
Yeah, I think like a lot of times when I'm like feeling stuck, I'll like listen to like an album that I really loved when I was a teenager, and then suddenly it's like bringing up all these emotions and these memories and these images and these pictures, and I'll think like, I loved this because she's talking about feeling stifled, and I want to explore that in my comedy, right? Or I love this because she's talking about feeling different from everyone else around her, and I want to explore that in my comedy. So I find that to be like I completely agree with you. It's such a great jumping off point.
How did you learn to structure your act if you didn't have any actual guidance? When you first started?
When I first started, well, I am a literature professor, and I teach writing. So, I mean, that's just something that, I understand narrative. A joke is a narrative, and it's telling a story just like you would tell in a novel or just like you'd tell in a short story. It just is a slightly different end to it.
But as a professor of literature, though, it's still, some people can't, it's a performance art.
Right.
Stand-up comedy is a performance art. So you had to have had that in you to be able to perform, because you can read, you can read something very well written, but that doesn't mean you'll have the courage or the finesse to deliver it.
Well, I mean, but teaching is also a performance. It's hard. It's harder to get 40 kids 18-year-olds at Queens College interested in Jane Austen than it will ever be to get anyone interested in one of my jokes. That's
That's
like
true.
if I can be like, hey, love this, there's
a fun show. We're going to have you both back.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. So is there any plugs, anything you want to talk about, an upcoming plug?
Well, I
What
just
you
got,
have
like
going on
I
this-
said, my 3 shows coming up at Greenwich Village this Saturday.
Which is a great room, by
The 25th, 6 p.m. Next month, May 9th, Saturday, 6 p.m. at Greenwich, and the 30th.
And Evan's going to be on my show that I'm doing at Napper Tandy's on
Napper Tandy's too.
April 27th.
Oh, I got something in June in
And Brooke?
Pennsylvania.
I'm pretty much I'm performing pretty much every night at a different place. So check out brookearnold.com. I list all of my shows on there, so you know where I am at you can stalk me any day of the week at
And
brookearnold.com.
1 week from tomorrow, you can see Nicole and myself performing together at Patchogue on the waterfront. And happy birthday, Nancy.
Happy birthday, Nancy.
Happy birthday, Nancy.
Nancy, when you get to the video, we're going to sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
my
dear
wife Nancy.
His wife Nancy. Happy birthday to you.
An anniversary to you. Here we go. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you. See you next week.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next
As
Tuesday.
Jeannie Powers would say.
Jeannie Powers.
That's a great...
Jeannie.